Well, if you want to know what we're talking about, let's show the video. There, this is a review for, or a game spotlight for Truxton, the new game that came out this week.
Power on, all systems go. Take off. Meet the alien attack head on in your super fighter. Before the Giddens overrun your planet, destroy them with an explosive scramble in space. You are the one pilot alive with the guys to do it. The Giddens have blown up your planet's cargo barge and are on their way to Borogo with a swarm of flying fortresses, asteroids loaded with tanks, guns, and explosives for an all-points takeover. Attack them face to face in your super fighter, the most powerful assault ship in the universe. Blast them to Kingdom Come with power shots. Fire the incredible Truxton beam to disintegrate their speeding onslaught. And when there's no escape through their force fields, surprise them with devastating rainbow circle shot. Take on the Giddens in 5 separate battles of space carnage. You can save the planet. Well, if that description from the back of the Genesis box wasn't enough to get you excited for this game, I don't know what will. In fact, there's even a little story dialogue in the beginning of the game booklet.
Tom, we're under attack!
That's why I'm here, sir.
The Giddens came on like bats out of Pluto. Our transport ship, the Bellary, didn't have a chance. Now it's cargo, our secret weapons. It's out there, stuck in space, and the Giddens are between it and us. Tom, we've got to stop them. They've got something enormous out there. It fills up the radar screen. We don't know what it is. We can't prepare for it. We don't even know how to fight it.
I'll fight it, sir.
Take the super fighter. It's got everything you need. Weapons so powerful, we've been afraid to use them. You'll blow their boosters off, Tom. You're our only hope, but it's gonna be dangerous.
I'll risk it, sir. I'll see you back here on Borogo after I make our planet safe.
Truxton released by publisher Taito in Japan in October of 1988 under the name Tatsujin, which means master in Japanese. It was then brought to arcades in North America and Europe a few months later by Taito and Midway. Yes, I said Midway. It then got ported to PC Engine and Sega Genesis, but the console versions, while still very good, suffered from having to tweak some of the sprite colors due to the reduced color palette compared to the arcade version of the game. Plus, it's just not the same experience as playing with an arcade stick. Truxton won several awards from the popular Japanese game magazine Gamest in the categories of Best Shooter, Annual Hit Game, and Best Arcade Game, and you can see why. This is a masterpiece. Truxton could be compared to the game Grindstormer, which also took previously established ideas and weapon systems from the 1986 game Slap Fight. The creator Masaharu Yuji wanted to make this a scrolling shooter with heavy focus on memorization. While Truxton and Grindstormer are not officially sequels of Slap Fight, they are viewed as somewhat spiritual successors, and its inspiration is clear. Each of the 5 levels in the game increase in difficulty and lead you to huge asteroids where you fight aliens called the Giddens, led by the evil Dogurava, which is invading the planet of Borogo. Of course, you play as Tom, or Tetsuo in the Japanese versions, and you essentially pilot the last ship to fend off these invaders. There are 3 types of weapons in the game, which you can switch between by collecting the red, blue, or green power-ups respectively. The default weapon is my favorite, which is the red one, and that's a spread shot, which is great, except in certain situations you actually may not want a spread shot because it can hit things that will explode that you don't want to explode, such as these glass container things that when you hit them, it causes them to explode, and maybe hitting them is not necessarily the best strategy in all cases. The green is a powerful, more straight shot, which will probably be better in a situation like that. And of course the blue is an auto-homing laser beam. Yeah, auto-homing laser beams. Now you can hold the A button to shoot down at a slow rate of fire, but if you want to not die, then you're going to need to smack that button like you mean it.
Ouch! It just looks
Your B
painful.
button, of course, is a very powerful bomb, which is a pretty sick-looking skull, and you can't just place it anywhere. You have to get it in a strategic spot. It's not like a whole screen wipe, but it'll basically mess up anything that it explodes nearby. When you collect 5 of the P symbols, it will upgrade your weapon to a much more powerful version, but just be aware that you do lose the weapon when you get destroyed. You can stack up the Ps through the death, though, to earn them strategically using your quarters. You can also pick up some speed increases, which are super helpful because your ship is so incredibly slow. I personally call it the USS Molasses. Now, you can certainly go back and play the console versions of Truxton on the Genesis or the PC Engine, like I said, with those color variations. And you're not playing with an arcade stick, right? You're playing with just a joystick. But those are great as well, so don't get me wrong. Just don't expect to find legal versions of this game on any of the modern consoles like the Switch or the PlayStation. Now, I suppose one could argue that you could technically play a legal copy of this on a PC. For that, you're going to need to track down the Japanese FM Towns PC from 1989, running Towns OS, or one of the follow-up 16-bit Japanese consoles that came out that run Towns OS, called the FM Towns Marty. Yeah, good luck with that. But even if you somehow manage to track down one of those along with a legal copy of the game, you'd be far from the arcade experience playing it on these. If you want to play it on a modern console, well, you're just going to want to pick up an iiRcade. The game's sequel, Truxton 2, was released 4 years later in arcades and is also planning to eventually make its way onto the iiRcade as well. The good news is iiRcade did this game right. The graphics, controls, and sound more than do justice to this classic, and the global leaderboards on the iiRcade are ripe with competition. I can't even make it on the leaderboard. There's so many people playing this game. And I gotta tell you, the game is brutally hard. I'm saying brutally hard. One-hit deaths will send you back to the last checkpoint to try again, and it'll take you many attempts to learn how to get through each section, but once you have it down, it feels so rewarding. This can be pretty brutal because not all the checkpoints have easily accessible power-ups. Luckily, there are unlimited continues, so you can keep trying until you have that section down. You do keep your high score through your lives, but once you have to continue, you get reset back to 0 points again, which is how it should be. No cheesing your way into the leaderboards on this one. You gotta have the skills to get through these 5 levels and make your mark on those leaderboards. And if you manage to make it through all 5 levels and still think the game needs even more of a challenge, then it loops you back through again with even more increased difficulty. In my opinion, Truxton is a must-buy title on the iiRcade, and I would buy an iiRcade just for this game. It's that good.
Sounds like you like this part. It gets stuck in your head when you got to play it 50,000 times to get through that spot.
You know what's so great about this game, Jeff? You know what I love about it? I'm on the leaderboards and you're not.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, we got the iiRcadians merch store. If you want to take a little piece of the show with you, you can get it right here. Enjoy.